Redbird Productions with another LEGO video, and today I have the Ninjago Legends, the Twin Titan Mech set. The set number is 71870. It comes with 1,707 pieces. And yeah, it comes with 3 figures and 2 builds and a stand. So without further ado, let's take a look at the builds. Taking a look at Kai's Titan Mech first. Here's Kai's Titan Mech, and I wanted to kind of show you the scale of this. Here is the Kai minifigure way at the bottom down here. And you can just see that, like, this figure is so tall. This mech is awesome. And I'm also very excited to get our last 2 Titan mechs that we've been needing. We have all the Ninja's Titan mechs. So yeah, and then we'll look at the Kai figure separately. But this mech is really, really awesome. Again, we have incredible articulation with this set. And there are a ton of stickers. I can't remember if there are any prints. I'll point them out if there are any prints. But we got 2 on the knee joints here, and of course we do get knees, so you can articulate there. You have you can rotate here on the thigh right there. You do have ankle articulation, not a ton, but it's still a lot. Like, you can go far out there, and then of course like that, boom. So that's pretty awesome. And then it's cool to see the little piston working right there. I think that looks really cool. But yeah, you just get a ton of articulation there. You can see the bottom of the feet. You got, again, same articulation here. You can also rotate the ankle so much. There's just so much articulation with these mechs. Both of them have a lot of articulation. So yeah, that looks awesome. You got these nice little hip pieces right there, that, you know, you can pose how you want so that you can cover up some things. The overall look is really solid. It doesn't look like there are a lot of, I guess, weird colors, because again, the grays and stuff are there. The back maybe could have used some tiling on the back here just to make it look a little bit nicer, but I don't mind it too much. I do like these gears here. I think those are cool and very mechanical looking. Now the arms are awesome. You get these cool little like face designs, and there you get a sticker in there. You do have these little like tendrils that can go out, but these are also like knives as well. You got these that can articulate here, these little like fins right there. And of course you have fingers using the little Exoforce arms, and then one right there, which look pretty cool. He can't hold a sword or anything. There's no like attachment point. I guess you could just make him hold it with the fingers, but there's no like connection to make sure it stays like that. This arm is built the same. So they do have elbow articulation. There is no, I guess, wrist articulation. This is all kind of static. So you just have this movement here, and then of course this movement here. You do have some shoulder articulation, and these can rotate as well. So just a ton of articulation right there. Same on this arm. Inside the cockpit looks pretty nice. You just have enough space for one figure to sit right there, and then this can move up and down. There's not a ton of coverage, so if I were to put the Kai in there, and you can really kind of get a good look at his head, so a good sniper could probably take him out in this mech. But the face of the mech actually looks pretty cool with that little horn right there. It matches with this giant gun or weapon or something. I don't even know. It just looks sweet. Very like, yeah, it just looks really, really cool. The back looks nice, and you do have those little orange right there, up at the top at least. I think down here could have used a little bit more tiling, but up here it looks fine. And the cool thing about this is you can remove his weapon just like this. Very simple, one little Technic pin connection right there. You do have like some lights right there. And again, this sword piece is just really cool. And of course you have a little bit of like a handle on the back, so you can kind of pose it around and stuff. But it kind of works with Nya's with a play feature that I'll show you just in a little bit. But yeah, I do really like the use of, again, all the Titan mechs have some sort of white, so I do like how the white is built. Oh, and there's also hip articulation, 100 degrees, so you can flip this guy all the way around. So, or I guess not hip, yeah, like waist articulation. So yeah, that looks really cool. And overall, I just really like the bulk of this mech. You can see with the legs, just very bulky. The arms are very bulky. Oh, this just fell off. I haven't had any issues with these falling off. I think I might have just attached this one a little loose or something. So yeah, I don't really have too many problems with this mech, other than I wish the back was a little bit more tiled off. But honestly, when it comes to mechs, like, you're not really gonna see the back all too much. You kind of want to display it from the front, because that's what's really cool. So yeah, you also have 2 little Technic pin receivers right here, and that helps to put this guy on the stand. So you can put Kai's mech on the stand if you want to as well. Here's Nya's mech, and again, they have very, very similar height. Here, I gotta bring Kai's mech back in. You can see they have very, very similar height, so they're not like too different in size. If anything, Nya's might be just slightly taller, but I mean, these engines are kind of taking up a lot. But yeah, they're pretty good in size, and I feel like while Kai's uses a little bit more of the piece count, Nya's is not lacking in any department. I think it's really a stylistic choice. As you'll see with the legs here, they're a little bit thinner, a little more agile. I think it kind of shows that she is kind of more quick on her feet and stuff. And I think that's a really cool design choice here. The builds are similar in certain ways, kind of like this top part of the arms is the same, this top part of the legs is the same, but then when you get down to like the calf area and the knee area, those are different. They use different stickers, they use different pieces, so these are not as thick. Different feet, hers are a little bit thinner, different build there. She actually does have a weapon that can snap onto her hands and stuff. She also has thinner hands and stuff, where Kai's are a little bit more bulky. She does have a different weapon here, which is really cool. These like little jet turbo engine things, which look really, really awesome there. Again, a lot of the same articulation though. You have the calves, or the legs that can move like this, again, rotate in and out. You have knee joints here, which, you know, those work pretty well. They do kind of get stopped a little bit with this, but you can kind of maneuver it around. And then of course the heel, or gosh, man, I'm really just stumbling over my body parts today. This is the ankle joint right there. Again, very nice articulation all around, and that looks really, really nice. Again, you have it on both legs, so those are all the same there. I do like the color scheme here. You do have a little bit of that medium azure peeking out right there. Again, most of it is dark blue and white, keeping up with that Titan Mech feel of having the white there. And also, I think they want to make it distinct from Jay's Titan Mech, which is also blue and white. You have a very nice cockpit here. It looks very similar to Cole's, where it's kind of more jutting out a bit more. And then, of course, you can put Nya inside. So when we have Nya inside here, you go like that, boom. She can be a little bit more covered up. Here, let me adjust my camera a bit. She can be a little bit more covered up than Kai was. But again, a good sniper could probably take her out. Different head design here too, where instead of the horn sticking out, it's going back. Very cool there. You do have numbers. I forgot to mention, there's numbers stickers on here. This is 02, and then this is, this one is 01. So yeah, I can't remember I think Kai is an older brother. No, they're not twins. She's his younger sister. So I guess that kind of makes sense. You got the arms here. Again, same arm articulation. However, this one does have the wrist joint here, so that allows for a little bit more articulation. But other than that, you can bring this back, rotate this around. The shoulder joint can move forward and back as well. So again, plenty of articulation in this mech. I have no issues with the articulation in either of these. I think there's just tons of room to do some stuff here. And then of course, finally, there is the hip articulation, or the waist articulation, full 360 degrees, so you can spin this around all the way. And then of course, yeah, that looks pretty good. The back of the mech, same thing with Kai. The back is very similar to Kai's as well. Could use a little bit more tiles, I feel like, on the back for the legs, but other than that, it's not too bad. And then of course, we have these really cool jet engines, which are a very nice build. They do use a lot of stickers though. I will say both these sets do use a lot of stickers that are kind of annoying, but it is very nice. And again, this just uses one Technic pin, so maybe you already know what the play feature is with this. Now, the last thing is this weapon, and this looks really cool. You have a little dangling lantern there, and then of course you have the gold sword, and then of course this brown Technic pins that go all the way down to there, and so you get some good articulation there. Different fingers. You have like the more mech fingers that are a little bit slimmer. Again, kind of making her, I guess it shows the mech is a little bit more feminine. I feel like they're using more things that are typically associated with feminine features, which I don't mind, but it also makes her more agile, and I think it reflects kind of their personality as well a little bit better. So yeah, I think that's really cool. yeah, overall the mech design is really, really nice here. So yeah. And then of course we can get to Twin Titan Mechs. You can remove each of their little backings, and then you can give Nya this one if you wanted to, and then you can give Kai this one. So that's an option if you want that. And I don't think they look bad. I kind of prefer the other one just because Kai's head is more with that sword jutting outwards. And yeah, I think this one kind of makes Nya look a little bit smaller, where these ones just give her so much, like, I guess, like a perceived larger size than her actual mech. And then this is what they look like without them, because you can also have it without all those extra things. So yeah, I think that's cool. It just adds a little bit. It's not like a crazy play feature or anything, but it is nice that they included that. But then of course there's also the stand that we got to take a look at. It's very nice. It's pretty much all black. They just have 2 Technic pins right there, and both of them have the receiving end. So literally they just sit on top of it. It is very, very simple to just, you kind of have to make sure their legs are out of the way, and then you just place them on top like that. Super easy to remove as well. The stand holds them there nicely, and then we can also put Kai up on there if you would like. I kind of like Nya on there because she has like those jet engines, so kind of you can put her into some poses that makes it look like she's flying. And Kai's just a little bit bulkier, so yeah, I think he's cool on the ground. But then of course you also have some studs here on the bottom for 3 figures, which this set comes with 3 figures. So you can put Kai and Nya on there, and then of course the Oni General. I'm pretty sure this is what he's called. Nope, he's just another Oni warrior, different from the other one in the set. And of course Kai and Nya have swords, so there's a little spot for their swords right there when they're in the mech. And then overall the stand looks like it can be posed differently, but it is a static stand, so this is keeping it there, and it cannot move at all. It doesn't slide to give you a different pose. And yeah, you got some studs on the back. I don't even know what those would be used for. Also, sorry if you hear a little bell in the back. My cat is having a fun time over there. But yeah, now speaking of the figures, we can take a look at the first figure, which is Kai. This is a really cool suit. So we have this mech armor, which looks awesome with the gunmetal gray legs with the nice leg printing there. The torso printing looks incredible. You have the little 1 logo right over here, and then a different logo over here. I like that hexagon printing in the chest with the red right there, and the back looks really cool too. Yeah, that looks awesome. We do have the side hilt piece for the swords, and that's really cool. It came in the 1-piece sets, but now we're getting it in Ninjago and other themes. The face, we get a new Kai face finally for the first time. It's not using the Lego Movie Kai face, so that looks really awesome. And then you have this really cool alternate face where, yeah, just look at that. And so when you put the mech on, yeah, that looks sick. So maybe it's like a visor that pops down or something, but yeah, this is a really cool Kai. We have is Nya, of course. I do believe they share the exact same legs, which is totally okay, and a very similar torso print. Again, that's totally okay. I think having them be like kind of twins is cool. Yeah, and then we get, of course, the hexagonal printing right there. You have the number 2 right there on the back there. Very similar printing, and of course, she has like a different emblem than Kai does right there. So that's some Ninjago. And then of course he has like a little patch right here, and she has one over there. So that's kind of cool. They're like matching, but not completely. Again, they have a very similar mask piece, which looks really cool. There's Nya's face. Again, we get a new one that isn't from the Ninjago movie. And then of course we also have her mech visor pop down or whatever. So yeah, this looks really cool. I'm really happy. An Oni warrior, which this one is different from the design at the Battle Like Dragons Blade set. This one is purple compared to that one was like a sand blue. This looks really cool with the legs right there. They have a little bit of silver, so they kind of shine nice. The printing is good. The purple looks really, really cool right there. The printing, it just doesn't show the same on the camera, which is unfortunate. You get a different hair mohawk piece, and then you also have like this armor right here, which was different, and then of course you get the same mask piece, which is super cool. So if we remove this, you can get a better look at the mask and the armor. He's not so scary, but yeah, there's no back face print because again, he just has a mohawk. He just has some scars. Of course, this being a Ninjago Legend set, they introduced some new characters this wave with Jin and Mira. Now, they don't include an extra torso and legs for each of these characters. It's using the same as Kai and Nya's I have their head and helmet over here. But you do get a new head and hair mold, and I guess helmet mold for Jin, which looks really good. So for the Mira face, we have this one, which looks very calm and peaceful. And then this one where she looks a little bit more angry, and that's what it looks like under the hood. Honestly, not too big of a difference there, but that's okay. It's the thought that counts. Now for Jin, this one, you have a really cool angry face print, and he also has a scar, and then, you know, a little more happier face there. So that's really cool that they included these figures and that they have different heads and stuff. It would have been nice if we got torsos so we could, you know, have them separate, but I think this works as well. But it does look a little off with Mira, at least. I feel like Jin is not too bad because he kind of has a more mechanical helmet with this very mechanical suit, but she has more of like a flowy hood, hair showing, and it doesn't really work with this mechanical suit, but you know, that's okay. The box art, it looks really, really great with the Ninjago Legends illustrated cover treatment. I love the fire coming out of here and the water coming out of here, which is really cool. And I find it interesting. I wonder if this is a hint to Mira and Jin, who I've been seeing rumors